I will do a little update on how things are growing. The herbs are still doing really well, except for the lavender, it never grew. These are my green onions and garlic that I keep replacing as we use them up. Buy them from the store, cut the root end off, stick them in some dirt in the kitchen, and you'll have green onions and garlic. And this is my other batch of herbs. I can't do much about the lighting. It's really sunny outside today. These are getting, to me, a bit too big for the pots that they're in here, so I think I'm going to have to repot them in something bigger. I didn't expect them to get quite so big so fast. And my little lemon seedlings, since I transplanted them to a bigger pot, they're not doing too great. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. That pot doesn't look too good, but this one looks a little bit better, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, the sun is so bright I'm not exactly sure how good of a view I'm going to get of this, but you can see our baby pool gardens have really taken off. Our container beans over there are growing really well. The tomatoes need to be separated out into something bigger. They're getting too big for their grow bags. Our experimental sweet potato, and I'm not sure what else seeds in there, seem to be doing pretty well. You can see how big the tomatoes are getting there. And our container garden is growing well. We put these sticks in here to try to get these beans trained to grow up them, but still they just seem to be falling over instead of growing up them. I think they're going to have to be tied. Everything is growing really well in these. We have the netting on the other side for the beans to grow up, but they don't seem to want to really grow too well up those either. Everything's about to get watered. It looks a little bit dry and we haven't had any rain, so it's about to get watered. We finally have on that side some potatoes coming up in the grow bag, and on this side our sweet potatoes are doing really well. Now out here in our main garden, and again with the sun being so bright I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, we finally have some watermelons coming up. We have some okra coming up. We have a little bit of onions and carrots coming up. I don't know how well you can see it out here. We have some corn coming up. This is our row of corn is growing. We have a few onions coming up. And I'm excited because I wasn't sure anything would grow out here because this ground is just so hard and difficult. So we'll see how it does. Let's get some water on it. Okay, these squash plants are really, I don't know how well you can see with the bright sun out here, but these squash plants are really starting to get pretty heavy with some squash on them. I'm having a bug problem, and I have a little bit of organic bug spray that I'm going to put on them today. And these plants, I'm not exactly certain what either of these are. I thought at first they were beets because of the root system. Looks like it's the color of beets, but now I don't know. We're starting to get some pole beans on these that are getting nice and big. tomatoes are growing really well. These are the sweet potatoes and the other potatoes. The beans over there are doing really well. Starting to train to grow up. I think next year I know that I need to plant the squash plants where they have a lot more room to grow and not cover everything up with their leaves, because that seems to be a problem for these peas here. They're getting not much sun because of those squash and zucchini leaves. These are getting really big beans on them though. I just have to figure out what this thing is. These peas also are having a hard time because of the leaves, and they won't go up the pole, so I'm not sure what to do about that. And these beans and peas are doing really well. These are just starting to bloom out. These again, we have a bug problem that I'll try to treat today, but they're doing pretty well. And here we have a few little baby cucumbers. A lot of dead leaves that I can't figure out, but I'm going to try that organic spray today and see what happens. And this is our bigger garden where we have some watermelon seeds trying to bloom. We've had a lot of rain and I need to get in here and weed it out. But we do have some things coming up in here. Onions and corn and watermelon and okra. So I'll get it weeded out today while it's nice and wet. And hopefully that will keep going. The squash will rot before they are old enough to pick. And I don't know what's happening. Something is happening to all of my plants. So, I don't understand it, but I'm quite concerned about it.
Isn't that just too much water? Or?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't watered them because we've had rain. This one looks good, but I've had it sitting on bricks and hoping it will grow up before it rots. I mean, look at this. I don't know if I'm picking this up well, but my leaves are just... I don't understand what's happening. Plants. All the leaves are turning yellow and dying. The squash are rotting on the vine before they're even done. Leaves are turning black. Something white is on the leaves. I don't know what's happening. I had a cousin that suggested that I put Epsom salt water on the roots of the plant, so I've done it in this one already. We're about to do it in this one. Make sure it's all mixed up. I've tried spraying them with an organic spray that says it kills bugs and funguses, and that hasn't done any good. You're supposed to pour this directly on the roots of the plants. And that is supposed to help clear up whatever is causing this. I mean, even these, you can see the leaves are turning yellow, they're dying. These cucumbers seem to be okay so far, but they are not in the pots, but they still have some of these up here that have shriveled up and died before they're at any size. I don't know what's happening. All these plants in both of these baby pool containers looked amazing just a few weeks ago, and now they're just dying. And they're not lacking water, they're not lacking drainage. I can't figure out what's happening, but hopefully this will fix it. Okay, so this is about 3 days after I tried the Epsom salt water. Still having the same problems. As you can see, it's really not getting any better, but I'm going to try it again today and see what kind of results I get. Looks like something's been in a flower bed in my garden. I don't know what that's from. But I hope that this Epsom salt water will eventually work. It seems that this one looks slightly better. We'll see. These beans are doing great. I have 2 little bitty tomatoes trying to come up, but these were planted really late, so I'm not sure how well they're going to do. These beans are doing great. Everything in this bed is really growing well. These are growing up the net now just fine. And I don't know how well it will show up, but we have some really nice looking beans coming up on here. They seem to be producing pretty well. My pepper plants have a few little blooms on them. And you can see what a difference there is in these beds from the last time I checked them with the camera. And this is our big flower bed. I had to move these plants out here yesterday when we were cutting the grass. But everything seems to be blooming pretty well out here. Everything's about to get a good drink of water. I'm about to water everything. And this one has some little tiny tomatoes coming up on it. So far so good. We'll see.